My name is Annie DeGroot, and I'm the founder and director of the Gaia Vaccine Foundation. Gaia's been around since 2002, and we have been focusing on the development of a globally accessible, globally relevant HIV vaccine. That's been the primary focus of the organization. And over the past 10 years, what we've been doing is actually building a field site in Mali. Mali is a country in West Africa with about 13 million people living there. One of the poorest countries in the world. HPV has a prevalence of 12% among women in Mali, which when you think about it, that's more than 1 in 10 women in Mali actually will come down with HPV cervical cancer. And the mortality rate is really high. It's 80%. It's very different from here, mainly because people are not getting screened. Now, we do have access to some HPV. We have 33,000 doses sitting in a warehouse in Mali. But due to the problems related to the recent violence, the uprising, the coup, the Al-Qaeda in the north of Mali, we know that most of the money that was going to be devoted to the project of distributing those vaccine doses is actually being used for military purposes now. So we're trying to raise money to distribute those 33,000 doses of the HPV vaccine and to print the cloth that will really change the way that HPV is being discussed in Africa. Cloth can also tell a story. It can tell a story about financial gain, it can tell a story about a celebration, and it can tell a story about disease. What we're trying to do is print a cloth that women who do cervical cancer screening can wear that will tell the story about the connection between the HPV virus, the sexual transmission of the HPV virus, and cervical cancer, and the fact that there is a vaccine that's available for cervical cancer.
My name is Eliza Squibb. I study textiles at the Rhode Island School of Design. I'm fascinated by this long history of commemorative textiles in West Africa. I think that using a textile for the purpose of this project is a really great way of spreading awareness because there's a history of communication through textiles that exists already, so it's a perfect avenue to spread the word and bring people's attention to this health problem. By giving a piece of fabric to each woman who completes the 3 vaccines, each woman will be playing her own role in spreading of awareness and hopefully curing of cervical cancer.
So there's actually a really beautiful story in the cloth. What you see when you're looking at it is you see that there are fallopian tubes, and they're intertwined with uteruses, and that there's actually a cervix in the picture. And then you can see the HPV in the middle of that picture. And around the HPV are all these abnormal cancer cells. Towards the cervix, there's actually normal cervical cells, and you can actually, the banner that we're planning on putting in, which is where you put the words of the commemorative cloth, is protecting the cervix from the HPV virus. So the banner says, "Je m'immunise, je me protège,
Je me soigne.
et je me soigne," which means I immunize myself, I protect myself, and I take care of myself.
Right.
And so we imagine that this will be both a fashion statement and a very, very powerful way of transmitting information about the importance of screening for cervical cancer, preventing cervical cancer, and getting immunized to prevent the disease. So one of the things that's pretty unique about this project is that there are 33,000 doses of the vaccine available in Mali right now, and only one problem: we don't have the money to actually distribute the vaccine. Those vaccines will go to waste if we don't raise the money to distribute them within the next few months. Now it's your time to act. Through donating to this cause, you can make a huge impact on the life of a woman, preventing her from getting cervical cancer, and the life of a child, preventing that child from ever getting cancer in the future. Please donate and let people know about the project. Like us on Facebook, send the link to your friends, and please take a look at the options for the donations on our page because you'll find that there's a wide range. we really appreciate your contribution to the project, and we'll be in touch in the future. Thank you.